Hi, sweeties. How are you doing? Welcome to Naya Sim, and thank you all so much for all the love and support. Hope you all are doing great. So, on this video, we're all going to be unfolding so many things, and there are some certain things you see. You kind of start trying to wrap your head around it, which sometimes you end up not getting it right or probably getting it right. Now, let's talk about this. I think it's time they start holding pop-colored women accountable for some certain things. Number one is that they actually do not like to be held accountable for some certain things. That is something that I have known them for a very longer time. They do not like that. And you always see them being right to the seas towards people that look like me, especially women. And I keep asking why. Now you are going to see a palm-colored woman who actually loves a black man, right? But do not want to talk to a black woman, do not want to do. But then the same person that do not want to talk to a black woman and all that, you see her talking like a black woman, dressing like a black woman, getting nails like a black woman, her hair and all that. And then they are still going to tell you that they do not want anything, but they are with a black man. I'm tired of them waking up and dictating so many things for people that look like me because white supremacists, or should I say, they are, has also embedded, like it's already in their blood and it is something that they cannot get out of their blood. And for that reason, you all remember the video where black women said we would rather work with white men than white women. Let's get into this.
I don't know about y'all, but I am sick and fucking tired of everything in this world being dictated by what white people think and how they fucking feel. Because how are you going to tell me that black women are the #1 consumers of most things, but businesses and marketing teams don't market to black women because they think black women are ghetto, nasty, nappy-headed hoes who have 3, 4, 5 baby daddies, and they think that marketing to black women diminishes their image as a brand? The same black women that are putting money in their pockets. And I'm not making this shit up. I finally saw a black creator last night who works in marketing say the quiet part out loud. These businesses don't market to us because they think that the average black person is ghetto and fucking poor. And on the flip side, the ones that do market to black women have little to no black people working for them, or the black people that do work for them, they treat like fucking shit. The reason why we don't get black leads in fucking films is because white people feel like they cannot relate to black characters. The story could literally have nothing to do with race. Simply just put a black girl on the screen as the romantic lead and it takes white people out. White people only associate black people with their struggle, which is why when they put black characters on screen simply just existing, white people feel like they can't fucking relate because white people do not see us as human beings. They do not see us as multifaceted, multidimensional human beings. That's why we don't get fucking black leads. Monoracial, non-racially ambiguous, non-light-skinned, Afrocentric featured black women. Or when we do get cast as fucking romantic leads like Francesca, who's playing Juliet in the West End production of Romeo and Juliet, the fucking vitriol that I have seen that girl receive actually fucking disgusts me. The amount of people that I've seen compare that girl to a man, compare it to an animal, or just straight up say that they think she's fucking ugly. Why the fuck do you think that you feel that way? Because white people have convinced everyone in the fucking world that monoracial Afrocentric features are unfucking attractive. How is it that black women are one of the most educated group of people in this country, yet almost across every single field, they are paid less than their non-black counterparts, people who they're most likely more educated than? I saw this video a couple months ago by this creator. I don't know her name, but if you know Clark and follow Clark, who I love, she's made a couple of videos with her. She's really light-skinned. She wears her hair in like this straight bob. And I remember coming across a video of hers where she was replying to a comment that was asking her why she has stopped her natural hair journey, because apparently she had been wearing her hair natural, working on her curls, things like that. And her response basically was that she noticed that her engagement went down and that TikTok wasn't pushing her videos as much since she started wearing her natural curls out. And that, honestly, that was probably the first time where I saw something that actually made me feel discouraged, because I never would have thought that something as simple as how my hair grows out of my head could be the reason why my content isn't getting pushed and why I don't have as much engagement as other content creators who are doing something similar to what I'm doing. It's just so infuriating to think of how much is stacked against black women that we know and that we don't fucking know about. And for me, it's like, Am I expected to do this for the rest of my life? Because I know I am not going to spend the rest of my life trying to prove to white people that I'm the good black, that I am not this inflated stereotype of a black person that they refuse to fucking let go of. Non-black women will never know how dehumanizing it is for at every turn to be told how unrelatable you are, how undesirable you are, how unmarketable you are, how un-everything you fucking are on a daily fucking basis. And what's even more insane, they hate us, but they love to imitate us because they love everything about black women on non-black bodies. I don't know, y'all. I just feel like this conversation around pay discrepancy between black creators and non-black creators is just like really getting to me. Because for me, it's like, how long do we have to fight this fight? I know we cannot be expected to fight this fight for the rest of our fucking lives because I'm already fucking exhausted. All these barriers, all these obstacles, not because I'm a bad person, not because I have a bad character, not because I've done bad things, but because I'm black. Like, are we being so fucking for real? Honestly, it becomes more and more insane to me every fucking day.
So I thought I was done for the night, but I'm not. I'm coming at y'all with a teachable moment. And I hope you take advantage of it in order to learn. Do you all remember those videos I did when I was explaining how white people could not internalize racism and that in fact their racism was just that, just racism? That in fact black people and other people of color are the ones who actually internalize racism. Now, I don't know who took what from whom or who stole what from whom, but peep this Onezwa and Nara Jones, I think that's her name. Tune into that TikTok beat. Read the comments in those videos. The colorism is vile and violent. The self-loathing in those comments is disgusting. And yeah, you're going to see some classism play out too. So look for that as well. But the internalized racism that is on full display is something that a lot of black people can learn from. If you have not done the work of deconstructing your internalized racism, read those comments and see if you can see and hear yourself in those words. If you too have been anti-black in a similar way. Mind you, this isn't about taking a side. It's about being honest with ourselves and seeing how we contribute in anti-blackness within the black community. Deconstruction is hard work. It takes introspection. And a lot of people just don't have the capacity for real introspective work. Because that shit takes real honesty. Real, intense, brutal, one-dimensional honesty with ourselves. Our problematic parts. So again, look at the comments. Look at the self-hate and self-loathing that is playing out in those comments. Take a real good look at the two women who are involved. Ask yourself why black people feel one way about the one creator and another way about the other creator. Because no matter what you believe about the beef in and of itself, one thing holds true. Well, a couple of things hold true. You don't have to be anti-black in order to say that you don't believe someone. And you don't have to be anti-black in order to say that you do. Okay, good night.
Good morning. So I'm scrolling on TikTok and I see that the white woman whisperer is back. I'm glad to see it. She wasn't really on my radar until I saw a lot of my sisters doing videos about what happened to her. And in case you don't know, in a nutshell, she is a woman of color who speaks very honestly about how harmful white women are to black women and other women of color. She was the one who posed the question about, would you rather have the white man come into the conference room or the white woman? And because black women picked the white man, white women got in their feelings. Again, this is why so many of us don't F with y'all. Because it is the demand that we put your feelings above that of our own. That gets me every time. They all got together and demonetized her platform. Because they didn't like the truth. And just so that we are clear, the truth is that black women find white women to be way more harmful than white men, which is why so many of us chose the white man. And a lot of you thought that we should side with you based on gender alone. And that would be great, except for history. And then there's that other thing, what is it again? Oh yeah, right. Our lived experiences with you. Well, enough of that. While scrolling through her comments, I saw a comment by a white woman, and she was talking to other white women. And usually when white women talk to other white women, particularly about race, and they're trying to set other white women straight, I tend to not interfere with that, even when I disagree. But I keep seeing something coming up, and this is what I want to set straight. White women, you do not internalize racism. Internalized racism is what black people and other people of color experience. It is a type of self-loathing that we experience because of racism and the harm that it does to us mentally. It does so much harm where we can lean into those ideologies as black people and people of color. I'll give you an example. Colorism. And colorism is the belief that some black people have that the lighter our skin is, the better we are. The closer to looking white that we are, the better we are. Crazy, I know, but some of us think like that. That is an example of internalized racism. That's not what you're experiencing. What you are experiencing is your racism. It's just good old-fashioned racism. And I get where that might be hard for you to hear, but it is what it is. That is the God's honest truth. As a black person living in a racist America, I have had to do the work of deconstructing my internalized racism. I don't like having to admit that as a black person who counts herself as conscious. But I wasn't born conscious. I had to grow in my consciousness, and I'm still growing in my consciousness. And while black people and other people of color have to do the work of dismantling that, you have to do the work of deconstructing and dismantling your racism. It's just racism. Now, if you are still confused, I suggest that you buy some books, read those books, educate yourself, follow white creators who are further along in dismantling their own racism so that you can confront your own truth. Have a good day. So not only do I block problematic white folks, but I block problematic black folks too. With that being said, this algorithm treats black people who talk about racism and anti-blackness and pro-blackness like a monolith. It, like a lot of people, think that if you are pro-black, it means that you are anti-white, and that's not who I am. If you want to feel anger about the racism that you face as a black person, I mean, feel your feelings. But what you can't do is be weird and violent, on my platform. I won't let you use my platform for that. You have your own platform for that. I don't agree with that methodology. That's not me. It's not who I am. If you want to hate all white people, please go do that someplace else. I have blocked so many of your violent induced comments. And I could see if all that anger was accomplishing something. Like building up your neighborhoods, creating jobs, opportunities, and resources for black people. If it was somehow making shit better, but it's not. In my opinion, it's just another form of extremism that doesn't help anything. It doesn't help solve the problems that black people face in this nation. You and I are not the same either. You too can raise up off my page because you annoy me. Now, with that being said, imagine following problematic people and then being shocked when they, in fact, start being problematic or do something that's problematic, like say some real anti-black shit. If nothing else, this latest TikTok scandal, I am glad that it has brought forth a genuine conversation, a real conversation about colorism amongst black people. Remember that video I did not long ago when I said that white people cannot internalize racism, it's just racism? I entitled that video "It Is What It Is" in case you want to go back and take a look at that. But white people cannot, in fact, internalize racism. Black people and other people of color internalize racism. And ironically enough, one of the examples that I used was colorism. Colorism falls up under the umbrella of white supremacy. It is the ideology or belief that the lighter your skin is, the closer you look to whiteness, the better off you are, the better person you are. The lighter you are, the more you are worth. I can remember one black person saying to me in the comments that they don't have internalized racism. Yes, you do. If you were born and raised in America, you have experienced some internalized racism. We all have. Racism exists in every corner of the globe, but America has its own unique brand of racism. This country was founded on and built on racism. It's in every state, in every city, in every town. It's everywhere. There's no escaping it. Black people leaning into the belief that being light-skinned makes them somehow better than dark-skinned black people is internalized racism. There's no two ways about that. And I'm going to say this, and you can get mad, but if you are a black person who believes or values lighter skin over darker skin, you do not understand blackness. You don't. If you understood blackness, you would understand its worth. You would understand your worth. You would understand each other's worth. Most of us can't pin down the exact moment where we began to love being black. However, I actually can. My mother didn't have very great parenting moments, but she did this one particular time, and that will live with me forever. I can remember us coming back from my grandmother's house one day and driving down 7 Mile in Detroit, Michigan, and we were headed home. And then just one day, out of the blue, I said, I was a kid, I think I was in elementary school or something like that, and I said, I wish I was light-skinned, Ma. Now, my mother, who is a very, very light-complected black woman, almost stopped dead in the middle of the street. She had to pull over. She was so shocked at the words that were coming out of my mouth. She pulled over, she put the car in park, and she looked at me and she said, why? And I told her, because all the boys in school like light-skinned girls. They don't like dark girls. And she looked at me and she said, your color is beautiful. Your complexion is beautiful. And she said that with an intensity so strong I could feel it. She pulled down the visor and she made me look at myself good and long. And she said some other things, but that's what I remember the most. But I remember looking in that mirror, looking back at myself and thinking, she right. She might be right this time. Black is beautiful. And that in and of itself makes me beautiful. I can pinpoint it to that moment when I began to love being black. I can remember growing up throughout the years having girlfriends who were darker than I was, telling me how they felt about their black skin. And because I had that conversation, that moment with my mother, I was able to have a version of that discussion with them. Because she put that into me, I was able to put it into my lifelong girlfriend of over 40 years when she told me how she felt about being dark-skinned. I was glad that I was able to give her words of affirmation that made her honor and love her skin, the skin that she existed in. As black people, we have been victims of white supremacy, and we have the right to hold people accountable for that. But that's just one layer. You got to pull all those layers back. And you have to examine the ways in which you have participated in white supremacy. You have to hold yourself accountable for that so that you can do the work of deconstruction. It's the only way you're going to walk fully in your blackness. Black came first. It was here first. But a lot of y'all act like y'all don't know that. Black is the mother and the father of all other colors. Y'all act like y'all don't know that either. Y'all let whiteness come along and talk y'all out of that. Y'all let whiteness convince y'all things that were not true about blackness and about being black. If you don't really sit down with yourself and ask yourself about how it is your thinking is problematic when it comes to being black or blackness in and of itself, you won't deconstruct and you will instead become a part of the problem. I can't do anything about y'all loathing yourselves. I can't do anything about y'all thinking that something is wrong with dark skin. I can't do anything about y'all thinking that black is ugly. I can't do anything about y'all letting white people convince y'all that y'all are not worthy because your skin is black. The only thing that I can do is point out the truth. That a lot of y'all are anti-black. And because you won't acknowledge that and you won't do the work, white supremacy will continue to thrive. I heard another TikToker say that if white women decided to break away from the patriarchy, that this shit will be over with tomorrow. And maybe she's right. She probably is. But think about that in terms of this. If black people and other people of color did the work of deconstructing their internalized racism and broke away from white supremacy, it'll definitely be over with tomorrow. I mean, over. But that takes introspection, accountability, and y'all hate that shit. Almost as much as y'all hate dark skin.
So this is all I got from this. The reality is that we've been facing this and we are still facing it. I don't know if this is going to go away. But the truth is that we are going to keep fighting. Because the people that are the soul, or should I say the people that are the ones making things or oppressing people that look like me, right? Actually have the power to stop so many things, but they are not doing anything. And they know what they are doing because they love to be on top so much. And they love the fact that they actually got some power over us, or privilege. I think privilege is the right thing to say, because they have the privilege, like they have more privilege than we do. So for that reason, they know how to use that privilege. That's why I always have problem with them when we talk about privilege and they tell you that they do not have privilege, or they try to tell you how hard they have worked or how hard they have, to get wherever they are, that they do not have any privilege and they do not experience any privilege. I look at them like, you all know you're lying for real. And also the fact that they do not like to be held accountable for what they do. Now, I do not have any problem about black women choosing white men over them at workplace, right? Because I have also experienced them. If you have not experienced them, you probably may not know. But I am sure you all already know, because it's more like some people's day-to-day activities and all that. When we drop this video, you are also going to hear or see people talk about their experiences in the comment section. That tells you how valid or how truthful everything or the video is, right? And they are not doing anything to stop anything. They know how harmful they could be or they are towards people that look like me, but they are not doing anything possible or in their possibly best to stop some certain things. Rather, they look for a way to shy away out of it. Now, I remember the same woman that talked about bear and all that, how she was demonetized, right? Because she spoke her mind and she made it known that they are not nice to people that look like me. But these are the people that secretly are jealous of Black women and they want to be like them. That is something I have also found out. They want to be like them. But their jealousy will not even make them appreciate. Instead, they are being hateful and like very, very jealous. That is one of the reasons of why I found out also that you are going to see them love a Black man so greatly. They are going to love a Black man, right? And then when they love a Black man, you start seeing them dressed like Black women. They want to do Black women thing. They want to wear their hair. They stop talking Black. They dress. They do everything Black. But if you ask them, they will tell you that they do not want to associate or they do not want to. You understand where I'm going to? So that tells you that they are actually not going to change, because I do not see them changing anytime soon. This is also something, it's going to be a very long fight. But the truth is that are we going to get result? We are going to get result. Because I think as time progresses, because this is not like something you fight straight up and you get an answer straight up. The fight has always been there. And I can also say that maybe there are changes, but we just want a good, like you want to see that they are being held accountable, that each time that they go against the rule or each time they do some certain things to people like me, that they are being held accountable for it and the rest of it. Because we cannot continue living like this. I mean, you can see what most of the people talked about and all that. Are they true? They are true. They do not have any reason why they are being jealous or hate and full, right? But they just want to keep doing it. Why? Because of your skin color. See you all in my next video. Bye for now.